A warning to viewers, this video may be considered disturbing. Sheriff's deputies were called to Wasco Friday morning for a man holding what looks to be a human body part near the Amtrak station in this video obtained by 23ABC.
Dawn had barely broken over Wasco, a morning that would soon be stained by a horror beyond imagination. On this chilling morning, the tranquility was shattered by a train collision, a tragedy that would soon spiral into the realm of the macabre. The Kern County Fire Department was alerted to a grim incident near G and 7th Streets, a collision between a train and a person. The calm morning air, once filled with the sweet songs of birds, now echoed with the wail of sirens as emergency crews raced to the scene.
The arrest happened after a person was hit and killed by a train Friday morning. Burlington Northern Santa Fe, a railroad company, confirmed the incident via email. BNSF confirmed it was one of their trains that hit the person in front of the Amtrak platform. An investigation into the incident is pending.
Tragically, the collision resulted in a fatality, a life extinguished in the blink of an eye. But this was not a typical accident, for as the morning light gradually illuminated the town, a grotesque act was about to unfold, one that would send shockwaves through the community. As the sun rose, the town was left grappling with the shock of a life abruptly ended. In the aftermath of the collision, the town's shock would turn into sheer terror.
KCSO says that shortly after 8 a.m., deputies arrested 27-year-old Resendo Tellez near the train station. According to jail records, he was arrested on misdemeanor charges of removing human body parts from an area that is not a cemetery without law enforcement approval. Tellez is scheduled to be in court on Tuesday.
The morning calm was shattered by an unexpected and chilling sight. Residents of Wasco found themselves bearing witness to an act so macabre, it seemed to belong in a nightmare rather than their peaceful town. Emerging from the chaos of the tragic accident was a figure that would become the center of this horror story. Resendo Tellez. Tellez, a 27-year-old resident of the town, was seen carrying something that would send shivers down the spine of even the most hardened individuals. It was a severed leg, believed to belong to the unfortunate victim of the train collision. This grotesque sight, however, was not the end of the horror that Tellez would inflict on the already traumatized community. Witnesses, their faces etched with fear, began recounting tales of Tellez's actions that were so gruesome, they were almost unbelievable. There were reports of him sniffing the severed limb, a sight that chilled the blood of those unfortunate enough to witness it. Even more disturbing were the claims of some onlookers who alleged that they had seen Tellez actually consuming the severed leg, an act so horrifying that it defies comprehension. As the stories of Tellez's actions spread like wildfire, the town was gripped with a fear that seemed to permeate every corner. The Kern County Sheriff's Office, however, was quick to respond. They wasted no time in tracking down Tellez and taking him into custody, charging him with the mutilation of evidence from the scene. This swift action provided some small solace to the terrified community, but the horror of what had transpired would remain etched in their minds forever. As Tellez was led away, the reality of the situation began to sink in. The morning had started like any other, but had quickly spiraled into a horrifying spectacle that would forever taint the tranquility of this small, Californian town. In the blink of an eye, a quiet morning had turned into a horrifying spectacle. With Tellez in custody, a town was left asking, why? As the dust settled on this macabre scene, the gears of justice began turning. The Kern County Sheriff's Office, alongside BNSF Railway's own investigators, delved into the horrific incident. The collision itself was a tragedy, but Tellez's actions in its wake were a nightmare that sent ripples of terror through the community. What could drive a man to commit such a gruesome act? Was it some perverse curiosity, a morbid fascination, or something even darker at play? These are the questions that haunt the investigators as they unravel the twisted motivations behind Tellez's actions. Facing charges of tampering with evidence and mutilation, Tellez was also confronted with outstanding warrants, adding another layer of complexity to an already chilling case. His actions have cast a dark shadow over Wasco, a town grappling with an event too grotesque for comprehension. As the investigations continue, the community of Wasco is left shaken, trying to make sense of the senseless. In the face of such a gruesome act, one question haunts the town of Wasco. Could this have been prevented? As the echoes of that fateful train collision continue to reverberate through the streets, the community is left grappling with the chilling aftermath. The inexplicable horror that unfolded in the early hours of that Friday morning has left an indelible mark on the neighborhood. The arrest of Resendo Tellez, a man seen carrying away and allegedly mutilating a severed limb from the scene, has sent shockwaves through the town. The gravity of his actions, coupled with the tragic loss of a life in the collision, has opened a dark chapter in Wasco's history. As investigations continue, the community awaits answers, clinging to the hope of understanding the circumstances that led to this macabre incident. Yet even as they seek closure, the chilling reality of that day continues to linger, casting a long shadow over the town. As the town of Wasco grapples with the aftermath of this chilling incident, one thing is certain: the memory of that horrifying morning will linger for years to come.